everyone, Draco Magnius here for another episode of Let's Blindly Stream Angels with Scaly Wings. In the last episode, we were continuing through our second timeline. We hung out with Anna to get a few more tests done on ourselves. We looked around for more possible clues on one of Reza's murders. I don't think we really came out with much, but I mean, it was something, I guess. Anyway, hopefully in this episode we're going to end things off, so let's see what's in store for us next. I awoke with my eyes fixed on the ceiling wallpaper. A sense of dread lingered from a nightmare I no longer remembered. I almost forgot to move the screen so I could see the chat. How many more times would I see this apartment before I returned to my own world? Or before something happened to me? I got ready for the day and tried to shake off those thoughts. Oh, someone's at the door. Hey, Draco. And right on the minute, you show up every time. You show up at this time every day like clockwork. Clocks are reliable, and reliability is good in this line of work. I think you can guess why I'm here. Is it Reza again? What happened this time? The chief will explain everything once we get there. Let's not keep him waiting, shall we? My records indicate you've already experienced this scene in a satisfactory manner. Would you like to skip ahead a bit? I mean, yeah, that sounds good. As you wish. You use the skip function 10 times! How about that? Oh, I'm sorry. You use the skip function 10 times. If anything, with you there, we might be able to convince him to give up. Or, we could act like we intend to trade you for the eggs if he tries to use them as a bargaining chip. You're not really going to use me as a ransom, right? We'll see about that. I suppose if it's necessary, I'll have to play along. I've got your back. If there's one thing we could do to make this whole situation even worse, it would be messing up with you. We have the element of surprise. If we walk in on his base right now... wait. We have the elements of surprise if we walk into his base right now, but we risk Reza lashing out with his weapon. If we want to resolve this peacefully, observation is probably the way to go. I guess we won't need Draco there for that, though. True enough. Alright, Draco, you stay here and wait for further instructions. We may need you at a moment's notice. Don't do anything without us telling you to, you understand? Okay. Alright then, let's go, Sebastian. After you, Chief. And Maverick. Good job. Thanks, Chief. Shortly after they vanished, Maverick also turned to leave. Then I had to wait. Bryce and Sebastian were observing the farm now. And if anything new happened, I would be the first to know. I spent some time looking around Bryce's office, studying all the material he had gathered about the case, though there wasn't any information that I didn't already know. After a few hours, the telephone in his office rang, and not sure whether the call was intended for me or Bryce, I picked up. Oops. Draco? Yes? I think you need to come here. I'll give you the directions. No problem. There you are. So what happened? A whole lot of nothing. There was no movement to or from the building in the time we've been watching. He usually operates during the night, so maybe he's just asleep? In that case, it would be best for us to go in before he has a chance to make his escape. Or maybe he's not even there anymore. He could have seen us and slipped away unnoticed. with plenty of time to destroy the evidence while we've been waiting here. You're right. Either he's still inside, or he's already gone and not coming back. Let's go in. What should I do? You're coming with me. Sebastian, you walk around and watch the back of the building, just in case he tries to escape. I need to stop accidentally hitting the mouse wheel. I'm on it, Chief. So we have two options here. The first is that you stay here and I go inside. This way, if Reza tries to flee and sees you, it might throw him off. You might be able to stop him, or if we get into a standoff, I can tell him you're here as well. And the second? You go in first, and I follow you. This way, if we find him, maybe we can resolve things peacefully. You might be able to talk to him, and even if it doesn't work out, you've got me and Sebastian nearby to stop him. I don't think he's planning to harm you on sight. And if we can hear things starting to go wrong, we might still be able to surprise him. So either way, we take him by surprise. I just have the option of talking to him first. I think you could pull it off. Maybe if you're there, he won't act as irrationally as he would if I was suddenly standing in front of him. I'm not going to force you if you don't want to do it, though. I'll do it. I forget what I did last time, but going in sounds like the smartest play, honestly. Alright, let's go. We slowly made our way to the front door. I took a deep breath and tried to prepare myself for the possibility of facing Reza. The tense scenarios and things I could say to him rushed through my head as I pressed down on the door handle. The door inched open with a crack, but I noticed a slight resistance and a strange sound that suddenly made me hesitate. When I looked down to the source of the noise, I saw a taut wire through the gap in the door, hovering over the floor of the entryway. Click, click, boom. That was a pretty close call, you know. Too bad Reza wasn't here after all. Maybe he ran when he saw us approach. Strange for him to leave everything behind, though. Everything he's stolen, all the generators are still here? Do you think the trap was for us in particular? Probably not. It was likely more of a general safety precaution. If he had any time to prepare for that fumble, if he had any time to prepare for this, he would have taken the stuff with him. True enough. I had no idea you could make a bomb out of a generator. Then you just haven't been with us long enough. If you know how, it's not even that complicated. And Reza somehow figured it out? Apparently so. He does he have any skills pertaining to engineering or electricity? Well, he's worked on cars before and fixes a lot of things back home. I guess that would qualify? He could also have done his own research. Either way, this makes him even more dangerous. At least we now have the whole building's worth of clues. Draco, can you get to your apartment from here? We'll be busy with the scene for a while. No problem. I'll leave you to your work then. Good job, Draco. Thanks. I'm surprised you called me back so quickly. How's the investigation going? Oh, the investigation is going swimmingly. But, as you can expect, we'll need all the help we can get. As usual. With how this case has been going, we've realized we must employ external help. Oh? Yeah, we've requested assistance from one of the cities. We hope they'll send some good investigators our way soon. I see. We were so close today. Could have been in there, you know? Maybe we just came a few minutes too late. And if he knows how to make bombs from generators, who's to say he won't start using them elsewhere? At least he doesn't have any right now, does he? You said all the generators that were stolen are now accounted for. True. Still, this whole case is growing to be much too not fumble. Still, this whole case is growing to be much too small. Fumble? Jeez. I'll get the sentence out, I swear. True. Still, this whole case is growing to be too much for a small-town police department. Hope you get your help hope you get all the help you need. Me too. But right now, you can help us again. Well, what do you have for me? When we searched the building, we found more than the things Reza stole. We also found this bloody bandage. Do you think that's his? That's what we need to find out. But given all we know, it probably is. So he's wounded. We know he was injured during the fight with his first victim, but whether this is from the same wound or something else, I'm not sure. In any case, could you bring it to the lab for us to find out more? Sure. Next, we have a witness who reported hearing a loud bang during the night. We'd like to send someone to make a follow-up visit. You need to confirm the witness statement, then see if he has anything new to share. Also, now that we've reclaimed your PDAs, we're going to send one to the archives for analysis. Since they have experience with human artifacts, they're better suited to do that than any of our departments. No problem. And lastly, we have the eggs. It's a relief that we found them unharmed in the building. They're safe and ready to be sent back to the hatchery. Shouldn't we take care of those first? It's not as urgent as you might think. Our eggs are pretty resilient. Being in the care of the hatchery is more of an insurance than a requirement. Some people choose to keep them in their own home until they hatch, rather than having the hatchery take care of it. The hatchery has been notified, but they won't be able to send someone for a few hours. I've heard they're really understaffed. If you bring the eggs and paperwork to them, you'll speed up the process, but it's not an urgent matter. I see. In any case, I'll just leave everything here until I get to it, so feel free to do these tasks as you wish. I know it's laughable that we don't have a free hand or for simple errands. Don't worry about it. By the way, are you planning to attend the summer festival? Should I? It's hard to think about something fun when I got wrapped up in this investigation. For sure. It's important to take a short rest so you don't lose your head. There's so much to see at the festival, particularly the big fireworks. Dragons enjoy fireworks too? I would have thought something like that would feel so commonplace since so many of you breathe Since many of you breathe fire. It's not quite the same. We still appreciate the wonder of colorful bursts in the sky. On the last day, there's always a big fireworks show. Everyone usually attends it. Everyone? Yes, it has this great tradition behind it. What peeves me most is that I'll be on guard duty when it happens this year, so I probably won't be able to see a thing. I'll be sure not to miss it then. Anyways, I should get back to the investigation now. I'll leave the stuff for you here, and I'll take care of the rest once I get back, alright? Sure thing. Good luck, Draco. You too. Alright. So, we've got bandage at the facility, visit the witness, take the PDA to the library, and the eggs to the hatchery. Well, I think I'm going to do the bandage first. When I approached Anna's lab, I saw her sitting on the hallway floor, the door to her lab wide open. Hey, Anna. Oh, it's you. What's going on here? The police came and raided the place. What? Why? It's a long story, and I'm not going to tell it now. Is it bad? I don't know yet. I'm not sure how they expect me to work in these conditions, considering I get assignments from the council and the police. And they both turn around and mess up the place as if it's part of their job. It doesn't make sense to me. Someone's going to hear about this, and there will be consequences, I can tell you that. Anyways, what did you want? I'm going to drop this off for you, courtesy of the police. That's what I'm talking about. Mess up my place, then ask for my help. Something isn't right here, and I'll get to the bottom of this. What is it anyway? I'm sorry, it's a bloody bandage for analysis. It's related to the Reza investigation. Alright then, I'll take it. Not for the police department's sake, but for yours. Aw. Don't let me hold you up, I'm sure you have places to be. Well, see you then. Yeah. Alright. I'd like to talk to the witness. I don't recall if that's something I have done already. Yes. I'm gonna just do a quick save here. Let's save over this one. If I do something I've already done satisfactorily, I can go back and check something else. Can I help you? You must be Ipsum, is that right? Yes. I'm working with the police, and I hope you can answer a few questions. Oh, you have any news about my roommate? This is about the noises you heard last night. What's going on with your roommate? He went missing a few days ago. I already talked to someone from the police about this, but I haven't heard back from them since. I'm sorry, this is the first I've heard about this. I don't know what happened to him. He didn't go on vacation, nor did he suddenly decide to visit the next town. I know if he did, he would have told me. Honestly, I find it odd that when someone goes missing, I don't hear back for several days. But when I hear a loud banging noise during the night, the police send someone over immediately. I'm sorry, I don't think I want to talk about this right now. Well, that was less than helpful. Thanks for all your help. Now that the facility has received the bandage, maybe we'll discover something new. I'll take care of the remaining tasks, so you can take the rest of the day off. I'm sure you have things to do other than helping the police department. It's no problem, really. My trip to your world wasn't supposed to be a vacation. Alright then, I'll see you next time. See you. Whoops. After this fateful day, I was glad to finally have some sort of respite. I wandered into the kitchen as I considered tonight's dinner. I feel like I kind of wasted my time by going to the witness because he didn't have anything to say. Although I did learn about a missing dragon, so I suppose it's not too bad. And it seems like something is strange is going on with the police department. Should I cook something or order out? When I returned to the living room, I suddenly found my strength leaving me as I collapsed to the floor. Oh, well that's not great. Next thing, I saw a blurry stone ceiling. As my eyesight slowly returned, I managed to sit up, and I was in a cave, and before me stood a familiar, mysterious face. I apologize for the violence, but I can assure you it was the easiest way. My records indicate you've already experienced this section in a satisfactory manner. Would you like to skip to this character selection? Yes, as you wish. Seems there's nothing for me to do this morning. I guess they don't need me at the police department. Not that I mind. Alright, let's do... Well, if I want to further progress Anna and Adine... Why is it I can never pronounce her name correctly? It bugs me that I have so much difficulty with it. It shouldn't be this hard. Anyway, so do I want to meet with Adine, Anna, Remy, Bryce? I mean, if I meet with Bryce, maybe I could ask him about Adine's map, I suppose. But I only have so many of these meetings left, right? You know what? I'll start with Anna. Because I've already pushed her questline further, so I might as well continue with that. Guess she's here. Hey, Anna. Wow, she looks exhausted. Hey. What's going on? You sound pretty worried on the phone. Worried? If I was worried, it would mean I was afraid of something that might happen. But I'm way beyond that. I know exactly what's going to happen to me. It's over. It's all over. What are you talking about? First they came to my lab, and now they went to my home too. Who did? The police! They raided the place! They had a warrant and everything! I already know that they have all they need to convict me. I'm going to die in prison! Whoa, jeez, what the fuck did she do that was illegal? Why? Because of those tests I did on you. You'll die in prison because you looked at my fingernails under the microscope? I'm a bit confused. Why don't you start from the beginning? Alright. This goes years back, and you already know half the story. I was a brilliant mind who had skipped years in school, and was on the fast track through the university with an incredibly lucrative career in front of me. You wouldn't believe the offers I had, based on all my accomplishments. I was still in school and already solving problems that no one had ever touched before. I had so many awards lining my shelves that new ones just went straight to the trash. I didn't need them, I just enjoyed the challenge. Besides, I couldn't care less about what some old people thought about my work. As if I needed their approval. I was already more than any of them could have even ever dreamed to be. My next problem I was going to tackle was an incurable disease. I started my research, but in an ironic twist of fate, I ended up contracting that very same disease myself. Whether someone had not been following health and safety protocols as well as they should have, or if I was just unlucky, I'll never know. But the reality was that I now had a disease that was treatable, but not curable. Despite having helped an incredible amount of people with my work, I was now the only one who needed help. Yet there was no one who could help me. No one but myself. I was already planning on working on a cure anyway, and what better reason could there ever be than doing it to save myself? I told no one about my affliction, and set out to do what many others had failed to do. Any materials I needed to start my work were easily acquired just by waving my status around. I had free reign over my lab. I could have even gotten an assistant if I wanted to, but I knew there would be but I knew they would only be liabilities. I even had a few good leads for ways to combat the disease, although the one that I chose to pursue was not exactly legal. Ah. Maybe you shouldn't have gone with the extra legal path. I mean, I don't know what your other paths were, but maybe you shouldn't have gone for the illegal one, just throwing it out there. Not without approval by the council. My research was promising, though, and while I submitted the paperwork, I knew that these things always moved slowly. Being pushed through various boards and committees could have taken months, if not years, depending on how generous they would be. I just couldn't afford to wait that long, as I was working against the clock. So, while waiting for the paperwork to be approved, I had already started with my work. I fully expected them to approve it eventually. How could they not, given that I was tackling an incurable disease? The method I was going to use was not necessarily a new one, but it was controversial. It didn't even cross my mind that anyone would object, seeing as I would cure thousands, if not millions, of future people. But I was younger then, and little more naive than I am now. In the end, my whole project came crashing down in flames. The proposal that I was sure would be approved was ultimately rejected, putting all the work I'd already done into jeopardy. I'd already made good progress at the time, too. After the rejection, there was going to be an inspection of my workplace, in order to determine that the progress I had made on the project which they assume had been within legal bounds, didn't include the controversial things I outlined in the paperwork. Of course, that meeting was just going to be pretense, because I knew there were already rumors going around about what really went on in my lab. In the end, I had very little warning. Thankfully, I managed to dispose of the most egregious evidence before they arrived. They found proof of my wrongdoings, but since they didn't find evidence of how far I'd already proceeded, I was able to deny most of their accusations. Using the controversial method when it hadn't been approved was still seen as a very grievous offense, however. I was charged and sentenced harshly, though the sentence was suspended due to their lack of evidence. With all I had done for them, they knew better than to take away my license. And I was able to continue to work in other areas, under the condition that it was within the council-owned facility. I see. So, I assume that those tests on me were against whatever conditions they set for the suspended sentence? Exactly. Why didn't you just do things the proper way and wait for the paperwork to clear? Before my paperwork would even get through, you'd be long gone. And using you as a test subject would have been a process that the council would have discussed with humanity. As such, there might have been another trade agreement, and who knows what else. I just didn't have time. Quite frankly, I don't even know how much longer I have left. This is my death sentence. You thought my test results would help you find a cure? And that's never going to happen now! How did they find out so quickly? It's not been that long since I came to your lab. It wasn't just those tests. There was Reza, too. But Reza told me he didn't give you any of his blood when you asked for it. Dude, you literally just gave it to her, come on. Because that's not what I got from him. This is my life we're talking about. Do you think I didn't spend hours on the ground in the hallway of the facility after Reza's visit, trying to find a stray hair or anything else I could use? Or that when I gave him that first generator, I didn't try to graze his skin just enough so I could salvage a few skin cells? How did they find out about all this? It was Damien, my assistant, that piece of shit! He was blackmailing me. Why? Because he's jealous of me. Jealous of my success. And now her not giving a fuck about his death makes a lot more sense. He found out that I was doing what I was doing with the stuff I could salvage from Reza. I didn't mind giving him what he wanted, though. I just wanted to live. When he died, the police searched his apartment. They found all the evidence he had on me. And now everything is coming down. I will be punished to the full extent of the law, and I will die in prison. My work will forever be tainted. Not that I'll care about that when I'm dead. Do you remember that childhood friend of mine I told you about? I never wanted to end up like her, but it seems not even I can do anything to escape that fate. Maybe I deserve it. Maybe it's my punishment. I have to die like she did because I left her. I'll spend my last days bedridden in a prison cell, and no one will visit me or care. And you know what? With all the data I got from you, I might have actually found a cure. I don't want to cry in front of you. I don't want the attention or the pity. I don't want it. I didn't cry back when I was diagnosed, and I'm sure as heck not going to cry now. I admit that I was selfish. Always. Yet I did great things. At least that's what everyone kept telling me. You know, after that whole affair back then, and the suspended sentence, the rumors about me never stopped. Did they warn you about me? Tell you to stay away? I'm sure they have. Why are you still here? I didn't listen to them. I guess just like you. The Council, Damien, Remy, they were always sabotaging me. If everyone just left me alone, I wouldn't even need your help. Why couldn't everyone just leave me alone? When they gave me the manager position at the facility, that was just to distract me even more, giving me free reign over the lab so I'd be tempted to do something I shouldn't. How could I not at least try? One of their oh so important founding principles is how every individual is important. That's clearly not the case with me. At least they never showed it was. Now I can see just how different you are. You're the only one who came to me willingly, and without any ulterior motives. Or did you? You invited me, I just took the invitation. Just to use you? And you still came back for more. You let me do all those tests on you. Sure, you complained like a pro, but you sat it out for me. I owed it to you. You don't owe me anything anymore. So what? Maybe I won't have to die alone after all. I don't know if I'll be able to be there. What? I clicked. Why did nothing happen? It doesn't matter. You've already done more than enough for me. I'll remember you when I die. Anyway, enough of that. I hope you don't mind me hanging around here. My place still looks like the police raided it. Oh wait, that's exactly what happened. Do you need help cleaning up? No, I can pay someone to do it later. I just don't want to be there right now. Nice apartment you've got here, by the way. Not quite as fancy as mine, but this isn't bad either. I guess the council treats you nicely, huh? Hey, it wasn't my decision. You're such a VIP, aren't you? I can't be that important if your apartment is nicer than this. Besides, after your rhetoric about being wild and all that when we went on our date, I assumed you were more the type of person who just lives in a hole in the ground. That's not what I said. I told you I can appreciate all kinds of different experiences. I could survive in the wild if I wanted to, though. Do you want to know what I did on my last vacation? I just started walking in random direction. I spent a week in the wilderness before I came back. That must have been an adventure. I wouldn't be able to do that without tools. I could give you some tips if you'd like. Not sure if I'll ever need them, but I guess they could come in handy. Actually, there's one tip that should take care of everything. Let's hear it then. Just be a dragon. Then you've got everything you need and you don't have to rely on tools and other stupid stuff. Oh, well, that's easy. I'll just transform into a dragon then. Perfect. Yeah, that's super helpful. How do you think I'm supposed to do that? Not my problem. Actually, can you tell me about your advances in genetic engineering? Maybe you could make it happen. My personal ones? I was speaking more of your society as a whole, but if you have any personal experience, that could also be interesting. We could do so much if we wanted to. Cloning, genetic scrambling, or hybrids of our various different species. Heck, we could even create new species if we wanted to, but that's not going to happen anytime soon. Tampering with genetics is not allowed. Why? Whoops. Our enlightened society doesn't see any value in it. Besides, you know about our creation myth, right? The one about a human creating you? Yeah, that one. It's the only one we have. Anyway, we are not to tamper with the perfect images after we were created. And what would those be? The belief is that each species was molded for particular tasks, or a particular role in our society. Really? I don't know, that seems like a great way to just shoehorn people into a feudal society. Some of them aren't even wrong. It suggests certain species should go into certain jobs because they're naturally higher aptitude in those fields. Can you give an example? Well, let's just say that while everyone can join the police force, you'll never be the flyer on duty unless you belong to a species that can fly. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. That much is a given. I was talking more about if there's any sort of discrimination, for example. You could say so. These structures can be pretty rigid in places, especially where the council is concerned. They really like to employ the members of the various species in their traditional roles. Ironically enough, the perpetual nuisance you know as Remy is a revolutionary case where that didn't happen. In what way? Well, a council's aide, particularly one who works in the archives, is usually a member of a species with more dexterous hands. You can't really expect a four-legged species to do that kind of job well. And he doesn't. It's really been a disaster. He's basically become the laughingstock of the whole town. When Remy initially got the position, there was a lot of controversy about the subject. Some liked it, some didn't. I thought that for Emira, the politics wasn't a popularity contest. Doing something controversial and divisive like that doesn't really fit that image. She wasn't like that in the beginning. It certainly caused people to remember her, though, and now people know her, she has changed her attitude a bit. It was a good move, because it kept her in the spotlight all the time. She's using it to gain popularity now. So she just likes the attention? I don't know why she does it, and frankly, I don't care. You'd have to ask her yourself, but I doubt she'd tell you. I wouldn't expect honesty from someone like her. I mean, she is a politician. Politics always used to be messy back home. Scandals, arguments, lies, they were everywhere. We do get the occasional scandal from time to time. And of course, there's always rumors. You can't really make people stop talking. In a way, I'm glad we don't have all that anymore. Why not? Well, I mean, society is fucked back there, so, you know. At some point it gets tiring. People get loud and argumentative, and those who are supposed to be our leaders. That's not something people would like here. If you're a council member who wants to be popular, you don't engage in that kind of behavior. Boy, that sounds lovely. That sounds like a nice change of pace. Not necessarily, since it leads to reluctant agreement and sweeping issues that should be talked about under the rug. You know what? That doesn't jive with me. That's also fair. They like to preserve the fantasy of peace and harmony in our society. For me, it's just so fake. People pretend to be something they aren't to conform. Because they don't want to stand out. They become faceless puppets, like drones in a hive or cogs in a machine. Yikes. What kind of world do we live in, where speaking one's mind is seen as something bad? I never held back. Now see where that got me. I bet some would argue that it would be that it would be just easier to conform then. I could never do that. Besides, I don't want to. There's this thing called integrity. And if there's one thing this society needs, it's that. Now you're starting to sound like a politician. If that's what your politicians sound like, maybe they aren't so bad. Sometimes I just want to walk up to some of ours, and shake them until they wake up and accept the truth. What is the truth? I'm a scientist. Truth are facts that are empirically Truth are facts that are empirically verifiable by science and tests. After all, the tests I do in my job are to find out if assumptions are true or not. I suppose if you ask different people, their definitions of truth would be very different. What is truth to you, then? Truth is what feels right. I share your view. Let's see. What is truth to me? I mean, I do agree with her. The truth is what can be proven to be true. And the truth is what feels right mentality is kind of dangerous, because if that is what truth is to you, then a straight lie could be truth to you. And then when the alternative gets revealed as actual truth, you'll cling to your feelings and go, no! This is the truth! I know that I know nothing. I'm gonna say I share a view, because that sounds right. There aren't nearly enough people like that around here. You seem to like talking about this kind of stuff, though. I'm not an ambassador for nothing, you know. You're an ambassador so you can discuss the nature of truths with different cultures? You know, if you ask the wrong kind of person, these kinds of discussions could turn very ugly. I'm certainly here to learn about what you're thinking and how your society works on a deeper level. Of course, I wouldn't just walk up to someone in the streets and start talking. Maybe you should be talking to someone in social studies, then. Not necessarily. Even if someone like that gave me their opinion, it's still important to hear the people's voices themselves. Okay, anything else you want to know? How much do you really like me? Well, that came out of left field, sure. It's not the kind of question I was expecting. You called me when things went down, and you say you don't really know anyone else. So what? Is it that hard to admit you like someone? You know me a little by now. You know what I'm like. Whatever you're looking for, you know I'm not that kind of material. Not even as a friend? You want to use emotional-laden words to describe our relationship? We've met a few times, and that does it for you? This isn't about me. Before anything happens to either of us, I just want to know. You want me to tell you how I feel about you? Even if something happened between us, you know it's not made to last. You'll go back to your own world. I'll probably spend the next few years in prison. You wouldn't like the commitment anyway, would you? True, I wouldn't let something like that hold me back. People don't like me, and I don't like people. That's how it's always been. Right now, though, I have to say that you're probably the person I hate the least. Aww, development. That's something, I guess. And I also can't deny that you have certain exotic quality about you. Now you're talking. Oh, come on. But enough about me. If you put up with me for this long, it can't all just be your own unselfish kindness, can it? Damn it. I don't hate you two. I love that. I love that as an answer. That's such a good answer. I don't hate you two. She is very cute. I'ma choose the love option. Oh, looking back, that actually explains a lot. What else would you follow my every... fumble? Why else would you follow my every whim? Not that I mind. We both got what we wanted, and now I even kind of like you. Usually people stay away from me after the first date, because that's apparently all it takes. Not for you, I guess. You know, this might be our last opportunity to do something. Why not make it worth it? If you say so. Is that a yes? Yes. She strode forward, reaching out with a claw, before she hooked it into the neckline of my shirt. Oh. Oh, I see where this is going. Is this YouTube safe, though? But more importantly, do I give a shit? These are the questions I must ask myself as a content creator. What are you doing? Well, we have to take these off, don't we? Not like that, you'll ruin them. I'll do it. Alright, so fussy. I mean, do I even have a pair of backup clothes? That's another excellent question, isn't it? Another free day. Yay me! Ah, okay, they didn't show the scene I thought they were going to show. Good! Now I don't have to worry about YouTube-friendly content. Moving on! Bryce or Dean? Bryce, Dean. Part of me wants to go meet with Bryce because that might be a thing to continue with Dean's quest. Don't mind me, just gonna do a nice quick save over here. Or maybe if I just hit Dean, that'll get us where we need to go. Yeah, fuck it, let's see Dean's quest. Here we go again. Just a minute! I hope I didn't forget anything. You said something about going to the beach? Yep. Oh, guess who got her entry commission for the stunt flying competition? You, right? Is it me? I could be a shit, but I'm gonna just go with the obvious. That's right! I've got it right here in black and white. We are happy to confirm your entry into the annual stunt flying competition. Please have your competitor number ready and show up at the organizer's booth at the summer festival by... Oh, who cares about the rest? I'm in! That's great. Yeah, but the festival's pretty soon. I have to make the most of the time until then to get my skills up to par. Thought you already had years of experience. Yeah, but now I have to practice the best routine I can possibly come up with. Not to mention making sure I can execute it flawlessly when the time comes. Practicing in general is very different than practicing for an event like this one. I see. Are you ready to see some stunt flying? Sure. Let's go then! Ah, yes, I did see this one already. Good to know. Then we will skip. Damn it! Wrong pipe! Hold on, I'm dying! Well, that was fucking awful! Hold on! Okay! I think I've finally recovered from coughing up my lung and the waters. Never mind. Okay! I think I've fucking recovered now. Yikes. Whew. Anyway. I should have some bandages in the cabinet over there. I'll get them for you. What now? Would you do me the honors? Of course, where should I start? I think it's the joint right here. Yep, definitely. Okay, let me try to get this right. Here, that should do it. How does it feel? Much better. Maybe with this I can even start practicing again in a day or two. Just be safe. Of course. Well, thanks for the help with the bandage, and sorry about cutting practice short today. I guess you didn't get to see any proper acrobatics after all. It's no big deal, your health is more important. Thanks for coming at any rate. You're welcome. I guess I'll leave you to recuperate now, and maybe I'll see you next time. Sure thing, bye! And last, Chapter 5, Duty. I don't feel like I did enough to change the timeline this time is the problem. I mean, I did do more with Anna, and that's good. Maybe I can actually go with her to the fireworks festival. Instead of going alone. After a night of turbulent dreams, my consciousness returned to the shores of the waking world. Today is the day of the big fireworks festival. Who shall I bring? Thank you! Finally, I got someone. Okay, then we can definitely make a difference. That must be her. Hey, Draco, looks like you're ready to go. I didn't think you wanted to go to a community event like this one. Anything can be fun with the right company. With that argument, we could just stay here. I haven't seen the fireworks in years. With all the crazy shit that's happened to me recently, maybe there'll be a reminder of better days. Better days? You don't usually talk about yourself like that. It's because I just don't give a damn anymore. Who cares if you know that about me? Who cares if the entire town knows? I certainly don't. These days, I'm just trying to make the most of whatever's left. Alright, let's go then. After a few minutes of walking, we arrive at a rather empty-looking area near the edge of town. So much for the whole town being out to watch the fireworks. Yeah, I'm not going to those places. I'm kind of a celebrity, you know. Really? For better or worse, people know about me. Of course, they would, given my intellectual status. Maybe you just don't want to be seen with me. No, that's not it. Actually, that could be quite fun. It would only be another reason for people to be jealous of me. Oh, I think it's starting. Yeah, what a scandal. Be in all the tabloids. We waited quietly as the stillness from the night enveloped us. Soon I heard the sound of the first rocket making its way into the night sky, after which it exploded into a pattern of colors. More rockets followed, their thunderous noise echoing throughout the land. Suddenly, a terrible realization hit me. Considering how public an event like this was, and how everyone would be watching the fireworks, now would be the best time for Reza to make his move. Not only was the village basically deserted, but the sound of the fireworks would also overshadow any gunshots, giving him as much security as he would ever need. As the portal had been repaired by the mysterious person I met, now was the perfect time for Reza to make his getaway. And I was the only one who knew. Anna, I think we need to go now. Really? The fireworks just started! I know where Reza is. We need to stop him. Speak for yourself. This isn't my responsibility. This is much bigger than you. Are you going to help me or not? Alright, just for you. What do you want me to do? Fight him? I'm not sure that would be such a good idea. I want to try talking to him first. If you can buy us some time, maybe I could get some help. That would be perfect. He'll be at the portal. Let's go! Having backup is a significant difference. I arrived at the portal just a few minutes later. I couldn't help but be glad that it was still turned off and didn't appear to have been used recently, but it meant Reza was still here somewhere. I looked around thinking about where he could be, or if it was worth waiting for him. Sorry. Or if it was worth waiting for him here when I saw something out of the corner of my eye. Hesitating, I drew nearer. Oh, I hate seeing Sebastian like this. Poor guy. I checked Sebastian for any signs of life and found nothing. However, his body was still warm. Reza was here very recently, but he hadn't used the portal just yet. Why? Sebastian's guard post was not just for the portal itself, but also the surrounding area. Since Reza was already here, he probably had some unfinished business very close by. The underground building. The administrator had told me all about the prowess of the generators within. It probably hadn't been hard for Reza to guess the same, or to try stealing them from the place he knew he would excuse me, stealing them from a place he knew would be even more deserted than the rest of the village was right now. He also didn't have to go far from the portal. All things considered, it was the only option that made sense to me. I could have waited for Reza here, but in the end, I decided it would be better to meet him underground. If there was going to be a confrontation, I was sure I would have the advantage in a more crowded space. Even in the darkness, it was easy for me to spot the site where they had unearthed the building's entry. It was as it was roped off. The building's entry as it was in a roped-off area that I had seen from afar before. Words. When I entered the building, I was met by a long illuminated hallway that was lined with doors on both sides. Since the lights were already on, Reza had to be very close. I wasn't surprised at the building still having electricity, since its generators were also powering the portal. Suddenly, one of the doors opened, and out came Reza carrying a large cardboard box. When he spotted me, he set it on the ground. Draco, you're here? You don't know how glad I am to see you. I've wanted to talk with you for so long. I even tried to contact you, but I couldn't with someone tailing you the whole time. But talking can wait. Now that you're here, we've got everything. Come on, help me with this and let's get out of here. No. No? What are you talking about? I'm not doing anything until you answer a few questions. You want to talk now? Sure, why not? We've probably got a few hours if we want to. None of them will disturb us here. We could even get We could even get the backup generator as well after we send this one over. When did you realize we were in the past? How did you know about the comet? I've known for a while. It's what I wanted to talk with you about when we met at the portal. How about you? I only recently found out. Looking back, it just seems so obvious to me now. I'm not sure how exactly you figured it out, but there's so many damn clues when you think about it. I mean, how could a supposedly completely different independent civilization speak the same language as us? What was this supposed to be? An alternate reality? No, it was just a different time. I mean, in the grand scheme of the universe, it being an infinite expanse, and a portal being able to theoretically, possibly, punch through time and space would bring us to any number of individual locations. It's basically a one in an infinity amount that there would be a species that speak our language, which seems like near impossible, but at the same time, in an infinite number of chances, it's possible. And if we stretch into multiverse theory, there could be an infinite number of universes different but similar to ours. There could be a universe where dragons just sort of walk around and speak the same language as us. There could also be a dimension where everything is upside down from our world. There could be a dimension where magic exists. Really, the sky's the fucking limit. Actually, not even the sky. The universe is the limit, honestly. When I was there... When I was there, ever anything resembling these... I see where I fucked up. When was there ever anything resembling these creatures on Earth? It's not hard to make the jump from dragons to dinosaurs when some of them here look pretty damn near identical to the dinosaurs we knew about. And then there are also the prehistoric fruits. The plants that are in fact in their technological level... The plants and the fact that their technological level is nearly exactly the same as our own past society. But we don't even have to think that abstract. We just need to look at the sky. The sun, the moon, even the stars are the same. Constellations change over time. Of course, but you know we could account for that stuff. You could have just pointed your PDA at the sky and it would have told you the time period, including the imminent threat of being eradicated. You could even see the meteorite in the sky and how it would change its position day after day. Are you done being condescending? I guess so. You killed those dragons, Reza. What a brilliant deduction, Sherlock. Why did you do it? Do you really need me to spell it out? I thought better of you. After I found out the truth about this place, I knew just waiting for the generators we were owed was not an option anymore. It would have taken who knows how long, but I didn't intend to stay a day longer than necessary. Generators. Some of the dragons didn't go down easily. But who cares? That they got the generators back, that they got back the generators I stole. With just this one, we won't need any of the others. How could you do this? How could I do this? Let me ask you this. What harm is there really in taking their generators when their whole civilization will be gone in a few weeks anyway? The ones I killed just died a little earlier than scheduled. Even if that creep hadn't shown up and interrupted our meeting, we wouldn't have had the time for them to make the generator for us. How about we don't let them all die? They aren't going to be extinct anytime soon, if that's what you're concerned about. I paid the hatchery another visit before I came here. With the right persuasion, I think we'll have plenty of reasons to keep at least some of them around. Bodyguards, border patrols, weapons, even as pets or companions, as long as we make the necessary changes. See, it's not as bad as you might think. I'm not going to just abandon them like that, only for their whole civilization to be wiped out. Get your priorities straight, Draco! Next, you'd rather starve because you suddenly empathize with a steak. And you're not satisfied just starving by yourself. No, you're going to let all of us starve just because you want to impose your morals on everyone. Since when do you think that you've got any say in this? You know why you're here. What you're proposing is treason, and you know the consequences. Personally, I don't mind if you want to stay here. You know I don't care about corporal punishment. Just let me through and you can do whatever you wish. I can't do that, Reza. I see how it is. They've told you they need this generator to stop the comet, huh? And now you've become their lackey. Don't tell me you've been drinking up what they've been telling you. You know they have as much vested interest in this whole thing as humanity does. That I and you, or at least used to. Do you think they wouldn't do the same thing if it was their families on the line instead of ours? Their entire world is on the line here. They lived in perfect harmony, with their perfect green energy source, and no reason for wars or conflict. Yada yada yada. We had that too. And you know what happened then? Of course you do. This is such an idiotic trope, you know. Random person meets weird native, learns their ways, and ends up saving them. What do they need you for, huh? Maybe they're going to be extinct for a reason, if they can't even save themselves. You know of our suffering, yet you'll let them have it? I don't care what happens to them, but unlike you, I was at least trying to save humanity. At any cost. We have the solution right here, and you want to get philosophical now? Don't you think we deserve it? They've had it for who knows how long. Now it's time for us. Not like this. Do you think I like it? If there was a different way, I wouldn't have spent the last few weeks doing what you didn't. We don't live in this fairy tale world of yours, where there's a perfect solution to everything. You don't know that. Or you should know that. Just being here for a few weeks must have messed you up. I think I know why. You got too used to all the comforts they have here. You actually don't care if they die back home, do you? As long as you can stay here, in this perfect little world of yours, you have discarded everything and everyone back home and replaced it with this. Maybe it's because you just don't have a life back home. I can even understand that a little. Of course, it would be nice to just stay here, where they have everything that we don't. But being here also reminded me of everything I hated about our world as it used to be. The pettiness and the politics. Say about the solar flare what you want, but I leveled the playing field and gave people like us a chance to make a difference. For all of our efforts, what did we get? A vote that was meaningless in a sea of stupidity and lies. Now everyone has to pull their own weight, and we make the rules. You, of all people, should understand. Of course they wouldn't. They haven't experienced how it is. To live like we do now, to see the world burn, and everyone you know die around you. Because I have, I won't let the same thing happen to them. How many do you think died back home, just in the 2 weeks you've been here? Because we don't have power for the hospital, huh? Do you think those victims aren't worth mentioning, or do you just care about the few dragons I killed? Our city is the last bastion of a civilized society, in a world where nothing else is left. Maybe you've forgotten about them, but I haven't. How many of us do you think will still be there in a month? A year? Or are they just a statistic to you? The same could be said for the dragons. What do you want to do? Talk me down from doing this? And then what? It's too late anyway. You think they're just gonna let us go after what I've done? Fat chance. Whatever you may think, you'll find that our leaders back home agree with my course of action. Why are you telling me this? Because I expect you to join me. That's not going to happen. And you call yourself an ambassador? This generator is the only thing we need for our city to survive. How can you even argue about this? The dragons also need that generator, and I'll do what is necessary to stop you if I have to. That makes you judge, jury, and executioner. What a wonderful set of morals you have there, Draco. We only need to wait until the comet is passed safely. Think you can stop the comet? And you need this generator to do that. Sure, if your plan fails, then not only is this world gone, but we also lose any hope to save our own. We're so close now. We can't risk anything by waiting for your crazy plan when back home they are dying by the minute. I will not let you. You only want to save your own two-faced hide. Because you don't want to face the consequences of what you did. Why are you laughing about this? Because it's a joke! It must be! I'm the one with the gun! And you thought you could just waltz in here and lecture me? Listening to you was fun and all, but the grown-ups must get back to work now. I mean, what are you gonna do? You can't stop me now, anyway. Maybe I can! Suddenly, Maverick and Anna appeared next to me. You planned this, didn't you, Draco? I might have planned this, yes. Traitor! And to think I let you distract me with such cheap tricks just because I thought there was still a shred of humanity within you. He pulled out his gun, not sure which one of us he should be aiming at. Just let me go, and I'll forget this thing ever happened. You've got 6 bullets for 3 people. Do you think you can really do that, Reza? You think this is worth risking your life for? I've been risking my life every day for the last 2 weeks. What did you do during that time? Sip champagne in your nice apartment? No, I hung out with dragons and had a lovely time and investigated your killings. Besides, this generator is the whole building came from our time. They belong to humanity. Suddenly, the administrator came out of the shadows in the hallway behind Reza. No, they belong to me. Confused, Reza spun around, aiming his gun at the newcomer who slowly walked toward him. Who the fuck are you? Freeze! I said freeze! Want to waste your bullets on me? Feel free. You can't stop all of us. If you say so. He pulled the trigger and the administrator fell to the ground with a dull thud that knocked her mask off. Oh, her! Whoops. Wow, I got her voice way off. But I mean, it's good to know. Woman. My first instinct was to run away, but Maverick started charging. So did Anna and I. Maverick was fast, pouncing on Reza before he had a chance to aim at any of us. He was knocked to the ground, and Maverick embedded his teeth into the body before him. Reza was screaming. He aimed at Maverick's head and frantically pulled the trigger twice. The jaws dislodged from Reza. The jaws dislodged and Reza aimed his gun in my direction. Suddenly, Anna jumped in front of me as the deafening bangs of several more shots rang through the hallway. Jesus! While I was unarmed, Anna was hit multiple times and fell to the ground. While I watched Reza's hand dive into his pocket for more ammo, Anna's harsh breathing filled my ears. Quickly, I dove behind the generator box for cover, and saw Anna opening her muzzle, spraying some liquid in Reza's direction. Reza looked at her in bewilderment before he suddenly burst into flames. He started flailing his arms around wildly, trying to put out the fire, but the flames didn't stop. He tried to get up, but failed as he fell once more and squirmed around the floor, shrieking in agony. A short time later, his body slumped, and his cries stopped as he laid on the ground motionless. I watched for a while as the flames continued to burning the now lifeless body. I went over to Anna, only to realize she was covered in blood from her bullet wounds. She was breathing heavily, but was still alive. This looks bad. I have to do something to stop the bleeding. Don't bother. Based on where he got me, I'll be gone soon. Don't say that. I've done autopsies before. I know how this goes. No one can help me now. Jumped in front of me on it. Why? Why did you do it? I only had a few months left to live. If I was lucky, that is. Anything past that wouldn't even be a life worth living. Would you want to spend your last days strapped to a hospital bed, slowly wasting away until nothing is left but a mere shell? A shadow of your former self? I think it prolonged my life, but it can't save me. But by doing this, I could save you. So I did. I know you have it in you to achieve and succeed at what you set out to do, even if I couldn't. Even if they have me rot and die in a prison, rather than finding a cure for myself and who knows how many others, just make it count, Draco. Before I could answer, her head slumped. She was dead. I looked around the room. The fire had stopped, and it had become eerily quiet as I checked on the others. Well, Maverick is definitely dead. He took 2 bullet wounds to the head. Holy shit! Damn! That is grisly as fuck. While I confirmed that Maverick and Reza were dead, I was glad to discover that the administrator was still alive. Oh, thank God. I found a first aid kit in one of the rooms and used it to dress her wounds. After a bit of rest, she was able to get up and we walked outside. What are you planning to do now? I don't know, Izumi. What do you think we should do? We have to stop the comet after all. So you remember my name. What else do you remember? I know we can stop the comet, but I also want to help humanity. I'd be just like Reza if I didn't try. You know. Just helping one world and disregarding the suffering of the other one. That's why I was asking for your plan. Sending generators now would be out of the question, since we need all we can gather in order to stop the comet. That is correct. Unfortunately, I also know that by the time we've stopped the comet, humanity will have given up on the portal and disconnected its power source, so we won't be able to help them afterwards. You remember well. The solution to this would be rather simple.
We just need to let them know to wait a while longer while the dragons recover from expending all their power sources to stop the comet. We could just send them a letter. I'm afraid that won't be possible. And why is that? After what happened during some of our other attempts, I decided to delete the coordinates to humanity's portal while I repaired this one a few days ago. But the portal has a way to locate other functional portals, right? We could re-establish the connection. Unfortunately, looking for other portals through time and space would be a significant energy expenditure that we can't afford right now. Not if we want to stop the comet. I reject this outcome. If there's no way to send them help, I will go back to the day of my arrival and try again. That's why you put those coordinates in, after all. No, that's not your call to make. These coordinates were only to be used in emergencies or if we failed. As far as I'm concerned, we did fail. Look at this world and what they have achieved under my guidance. You want to jeopardize this for a chance, just a chance, to save your city as well? It's what I came here for. Reza too, but he's dead now. So I'm the only one they have left to fight for their survival. I can't just leave them now. As nice as it would be, a life here would be a life built on the suffering of others. I wouldn't be able to live with myself knowing that I could have helped them, but didn't because I took the easy way out. As far as I'm concerned, this isn't over yet. You want to save those who sent Reza and his supporters? Is this really about humanity or about Anna? She sacrificed herself for you, not for you to undo it all again. It is her sacrifice that makes it possible to save this world now. Is that not enough for you? No, I'm going. If that's your final decision, you leave me no other choice. Suddenly I saw her reaching for something out of one of her pockets. Oh, shit. Fuck. Let me scroll down. Okay. When it parted to reveal Reza's gun, I quickly grasped it and pointed it out of the way before Azumi pulled the trigger. In the ensuing scuffle, I managed to wrest it away from her and hit her in the face with its blunt end. She collapsed in pain as blood started to run down her cheek where the impact had opened a gash. As she squirmed on the ground, I turned to her before I took my leave. You know what? For all Reza has done, you sure don't seem that different from him when it comes down to it. Goodbye. As I made my way to the portal to return to the day of my arrival, I thought about what just happened and what I would do now. If anything, Izumi's actions had only strengthened my resolve to make things right. Just right. After all, I had all the time in the world to try. Well, so that's timeline 2. The problem is I don't know exactly where to go from here. Maybe I should look up timelines, or I should look up a guide or something to figure out what I should do from here, because as it stands right now, I'm not sure where I should go. Like, I finished Anna's timeline, or Anna's quest line, rather. I could try, like, fully focusing on Adine and maybe Bryce, because maybe by doing them side by side, I can get the map that Adine wants. I'll have to look into it. You've already seen the credits. I mean, it's with new pictures now, so... I don't think I can skip them, can I? No, I can't skip. We're just gonna have to sit here. Alright, well... Yep. I'm trying to move my... Okay. The volume's fine. I was worried about that. Oh! It froze because I was moving it around. Whoops! So yeah, where do we go from there? Well, you said I could focus on Adine or maybe some others. We know that... I think it was Lorem Lauren went missing suddenly. We learned that. So maybe following Lauren would be a good idea since he's gone completely missing. Let's see. Unmasking. You have seen what lies beneath the mask. You have seen Anna's bad end. Oh, hey, and there's a silhouette of her now there. Alright, but with that, I think we're going to end the episode here. In the next episode, we'll go down timeline 3. See you guys then.